Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to listen closely to me. I know life can hit hard. I know that people can betray you, disappoint you, and break your trust in ways you didn't think were possible. I know it. And you've felt it. You felt the sting of someone's words, the weight of their actions. When someone hurts you, really hurts you, it cuts deep. And don't you dare lie to yourself and pretend that it didn't. The pain is real. The feelings of betrayal, of being let down, of losing trust, they don't just disappear. They sit with you, they linger in your chest, in your mind, in your heart. You may try to push it down, to bury it, to ignore it, but the more you push, the heavier it becomes. It's easy to tell yourself, I'm fine, I'm strong, I'll get over it, but that's just a mask. It's a defense mechanism, a way to protect yourself from the full weight of what you're really feeling. And I get it, nobody wants to feel weak, nobody wants to appear vulnerable. But here's the truth, you can't heal what you won't acknowledge. The first step in moving forward, in truly overcoming the hurt, is to be honest with yourself. Admit that you're hurt. Look at that pain straight in the face. It doesn't matter how big or small, how obvious or subtle, it's real. Maybe it's a cut that's been made by someone close to you, someone you trusted, or maybe it's a deeper wound that goes back years. Maybe it's not even a single moment, but a collection of cuts that have piled up over time. You've been wounded, and that's okay to say out loud, but don't let that pain define you. Acknowledge it, own it, feel it fully. Sit with it for a moment, because only then can you truly begin the journey of healing. Pretending it doesn't hurt, that's what keeps you stuck. It's like a wound that's left untreated, it festers. It infects everything around it, and it just gets worse the longer you leave it alone. So be honest about it. You've been hurt, and that's something you need to face. It's the first step toward your recovery, the first step toward reclaiming your peace, because you can't move forward until you truly understand where you've been. When you're hurt, when someone does you wrong, the natural instinct is to want to fight back. It's human nature. You want to make them feel what you felt. You want to pay them back, to make them regret what they did to you. But let me tell you something, revenge is a trap. And the most dangerous part of revenge isn't what it does to the other person, it's what it does to you. You see, when you set your heart on revenge, you're taking on a burden that doesn't belong to you. You're allowing the actions of someone else to dictate your peace, to control your emotions. You're holding on to the weight of that pain, that anger, and you're trying to fuel it with the hope of some twisted satisfaction in seeing them suffer. But here's the thing, revenge doesn't release you from your pain. It keeps you trapped in it. Every time you think about getting even, every time you plot how you'll make them regret what they did, you're only reopening that wound you're trying to heal. You are carrying the pain, the anger, the resentment, all of it, every single day. And instead of releasing it, you're holding it tighter. You're feeding it, nourishing it, allowing it to grow and spread into every corner of your mind. Revenge, in its purest form, is poison. And while you're thinking it's going to hurt the other person, it's actually destroying you first. It eats away at your peace. It clouds your judgment. It distracts you from everything good in your life. It creates a darkness inside you that becomes harder and harder to shake off. Every moment you spend plotting or imagining that revenge, you are losing moments of your life that you'll never get back. You're trading your energy, your focus, your joy, and your future for someone else's past mistakes. When you make revenge your mission, you're giving the person who hurt you more power over your life than they ever deserved. You're saying, you hurt me once, and now I'm going to let you continue to hurt me by letting you live in my thoughts, in my actions, in every part of my life. That's what revenge does. It doesn't teach them a lesson. It teaches you that you're still bound by the pain they caused, that you're still a prisoner to what they did to you. The satisfaction you think you'll feel after getting even doesn't last. It's fleeting. And once it fades, you're left with the same emptiness you had before, only now it's more complicated. Now you've become someone you weren't before. Now you've let that hurt change you. You've let it poison your spirit. You've let it steal your peace, your clarity, your purpose. When you're hurt by someone, when they betray you or wrong you in some way, there's this overwhelming urge to try to control the situation. You want to make things right. You want to ensure that they understand the gravity of their actions. You want them to feel the consequences, to feel remorse, to feel the weight of what they've done. It's understandable. It's human nature to want to right the wrongs, to try and balance the scales of justice. But here's the reality: you can't control how others act. You can't control their hearts, their minds, or their decisions. You can't make them apologize, you can't make them change, and you can't force them to feel what you feel. As much as you may want to, the truth is, you have no power over their actions or their responses. And the more you try to control that, the more you're putting yourself in a position of unnecessary suffering. The desire for control comes from a place of fear, the fear that if you don't do something, if you don't somehow manage the outcome, then you'll lose. You'll lose justice. You'll lose dignity. You'll lose the chance to show them that what they did was wrong. But holding on to that need for control isn't just draining, it's a fool's errand. You're expending energy trying to manipulate things that are beyond your reach, energy that could be better spent on your own healing and growth. When you try to control the actions of others, you're essentially giving them the power to decide how you feel. You're handing over your peace, your balance, your happiness to someone else. You're saying, I need you to behave a certain way so that I can feel okay. And the truth is, no one can ever give you that power. Not them. Not anyone. Only you have the power to decide how you react, how you respond, and how you let things affect you. So the first step in releasing control is to recognize that you can only control yourself. You can't change what they did. You can't erase the hurt or make them see it from your perspective. What you can do, though, is decide how you want to move forward. You can choose how you want to feel in this moment and how you want to feel in the next one. The healing doesn't come from forcing someone else to pay for their actions. It comes from choosing to take your power back, to refuse to give it to anyone else. Letting go of control means stepping into a place of acceptance, not acceptance of the wrong, not acceptance of the hurt, but acceptance of the fact that you can't control the outcome. You can't make everything turn out the way you want it to. It doesn't mean you're weak or passive. It means you're strong enough to step out of the game of trying to manipulate the circumstances. It means you're courageous enough to let go of what isn't yours to control and take control of the one thing you always have power over: your own peace of mind. If forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you. You might think that forgiveness is about the person who hurt you. You might believe that by forgiving them, you're letting them off the hook, that you're giving them permission to walk away from what they've done without facing the consequences. And I get it. You might feel like forgiveness means you're saying what you did was okay when you know deep down that it wasn't. But here's the truth: forgiveness has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with you. When someone wrongs you, when they betray your trust, disrespect you, or cause you pain, they leave a mark. And as much as you want to say, I'm fine, I'm over it deep inside, that wound is still there. It's festering, it's lingering, and it's pulling at your energy, your peace, and your focus. Every time you think about what they did, every time you replay that moment in your mind, you're carrying that pain with you. And that weight, whether you realize it or not, is affecting everything about your life. Here's the thing: holding on to that anger, that hurt, that resentment only keeps you chained to the past. When you refuse to forgive, you're choosing to keep that person's actions in your life. They continue to control your emotional state. They continue to dictate your mood, your peace, and your happiness. You're allowing them to take up space in your heart, in your mind, and your energy. You're giving them power over you even after they've hurt you. Forgiveness isn't about excusing what they did or pretending that it didn't matter. It's not about saying it's all okay, no harm done, no. Forgiveness is a conscious decision to release yourself from the burden of carrying that pain any longer. Forgiveness is about setting yourself free. You may think that by holding on to that grudge, you're punishing them, but the truth is you're punishing yourself. You're the one who has to carry the weight of that hurt day in and day out. When you forgive, you're choosing to take control of your own emotional well-being. You're making the decision to no longer let that moment of betrayal define who you are, to no longer let that person's actions shape your future. It's not about them, it's about you. It's about reclaiming your peace, your clarity, and your joy. It's about letting go of the emotional baggage that's been weighing you down and choosing to move forward without it. Forgiveness doesn't mean you forget what happened. It doesn't mean you allow the person to keep treating you the same way or that you invite them back into your life. It simply means you're choosing not to let them control your heart any longer. You're choosing to heal instead of letting the wound fester. Forgiveness is an act of self-care. It's an act of strength. It's a powerful declaration that you refuse to be defined by the hurt others have caused you. You're saying, I am more than this pain. I am bigger than what you did to me, and I will not allow this to dictate who I am or what I become. When you've been wronged, when someone has hurt you deeply, it's easy to feel justified in wanting revenge. Your emotions surge, you feel angry, betrayed, frustrated, and your mind races with thoughts of how to make them pay for what they've done to you. It's almost like there's a voice inside telling you that the only way to feel better, to regain some sense of justice, is to strike back. It's easy to believe that revenge will provide some kind of closure, some kind of satisfaction that will put the situation to rest. But the truth is, revenge only fuels the fire. It doesn't bring peace.